What's up, all you beautiful people? It's your boy, the Vuvuzela. It is Vuvuzela Victory Challenge. We've got a transfer special for you guys, and it's a juicy one, baby. I don't know what that means, but it's a good one. So make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you get notified, and give us that thumbs up, that all important. Just, click. Thumbs up. It's a great thing to do. It helps the algorithms, it helps me on the channel a lot. Hope you guys enjoy the transfer special. Your boy, the Vuvuzela, is ready to go. Run that intro! Welcome, ladies and gents, the season review for FC24. We finally made it to the end of the season. Now, welcome to the new episode. Of course, signing of the season goes to Renan. And listen, in terms of his little contribution that he did have, the 18 games, he has been absolutely fantastic. Also got to give a shout out to Jolette. Came in at a time where we struggled to find a good right wing, or right mid and right wing type of player. Felipe from Everton, the not the English Everton, the Argentinian Everton team, came in through there. He produced the goals for us. Malhouse, another good signing, although they disappointed. We paid a lot of money for him. We paid 1.8 million for Malhouse, but I think he has been every worth of that penny that we paid for him. Ferrari, low wages, good signing in my opinion. Grando, fantastic little signing. Kakuri, another one, free transfer, great little signing. Then Renier, maybe a little bit overspent for him, but he is going to develop. 18 years old, I think he could become a very, very good striker. Pontasek, listen, we paid a lot of money for him. I'm hoping next season he does a lot better. The same with Studante. Maybe just not going to be our first team player. Cameron Wood, one for the future, definitely a good defender. Don't think we spent too much on him. One man I do feel we overspent a lot on is Ice Ring. Just haven't managed to get the best out of him in 20 games. Only 3 assists was not good. Saris, you know what? I kind of agree with the board here that it was a little bit overspent for 40 games, and giving me a 6.76 wasn't great. And then Tello, I mean, this was an absolute bargain in my opinion. A player that could definitely be a lot better. And also the nice thing about Tello, let's just have a quick look on this. He's got a huge potential to increase his value. I mean, he's valued at £210,000 now, but 445, that will go up even more. In terms of transfer out, we only had the 4 selling. A lot more is going to happen this season. I've already earmarked who and what is going out. But these guys, none of them really had standout seasons when they left. So that's at least good. Loanees, out of the pick of the bunch of the loanees, I think Serini and Kana probably developed the best out of the 2 players. Yeah, we could have gotten command fee, but anyway, yeah, a couple of good signings anyway. This is how we ended off the season. We are in 3rd. It still says UEFA Continental, and that's because St. Gallen have the opportunity to get Europa League because of being in the Schweizer Cup finals. They will get the Europa League spot. I think first place gets Champions League, second place gets Europa League. Well, first place gets Europa League, but if the champions are already in Champions League, then runners-up get Europa League. So they will pick up the Europa League. We're going to be playing in Conference League next season. The board are very happy that we even qualified for that. I mean, technically we qualified for the Europa League, but because of the Schweizer Cup, I don't think we're going to get Europa League. I could be wrong on that one, but you can see we had a very, very good middle sector of this. Only the one loss to Basel and then Sion towards the end of the season, where things started losing a little bit, especially the last 2 games. that match against Basel and the match against Young Boys were just two games that really hurt me a lot. In terms of our biggest win, we beat St. Gallen 5-0 towards the middle part of the season. Ferrari, Pacencia, and Marks all getting on the score sheet there. Our match to remember was the match against Servette. I'm not sure why, but I think it was our first win in the league. I think that's why it's the match to remember. And then the goal of the season went to Roth against St. Gallen in the last game of the season. You guys saw that game. I don't think it was that great. I think we had scored better goals throughout the season, but they've given it to him. So well done to him. In terms of sponsorship deals, we stayed exactly the same from last season. I know it says down, but it's literally the same amount. In terms of shirts, Grando, Kakuri, Ariagada, Pacencia, and Renan, our top shirt sponsors. We haven't grown up in reputation, which is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. This is the tactic we used for most of the season, and this is the team we used for most of the season. I think it's a very accurate depiction of how the season went. Only towards the end did we switch it up a little bit. In terms of records, Milicevic picked up a record we don't want to keep, and that's the worst discipline, 14 yellow cards. He has been a little bit of a liability in the team, with Grando picking up 11 assists, tying the record there. Malhouse, our fans player of the season, 7.1 average. Young player of the season goes to Felipe with a 7.1 average. Signing of the season, like we said, is Renan and a 7.4. Goal of the season, we saw top goal scorer was Felipe with 18 and Grando with 11 assists. Most of the matches goes to Marks. And then, of course, like we said, Milicevic completed the most passes at 45. And then the challenger player of the season from last season, well, of the year rather, not of the season, goes to Mark Gutbub from his performances in the Diski League previously. That is the season roundup of how we all land up. I'm going to play ahead until June, July. We're going to keep scouting some players. Going to give you guys quickly, though, a rundown of what I have sort of planned out. So this is the first team that I'm looking at. Obviously, we're going to be needing a new goalkeeper. I did mention that in the previous one. In terms of backup players, a backup right back, a backup left back, and then a backup register. I do have Tello as a potential backup left and right, but I want to keep him on sort of these sections, rotation players. And then I'm thinking of giving Thal a chance if we don't find a good left back to be that backup left back permanently. In terms of players all willing to be sold, these are all the players in the squad that are potentially just surplus to requirements, to be honest. A few of them are going to leave on a free transfer. The likes of, I think it's Arslan going on a free transfer. No, not this season, next season. And then there's a couple of retirees in here with the Etienne Ronald Ndongo, 36 years old, retiring, and Bertone. Where's Bertone? There he is. Bertone, 37 years old. Leonardo Bertone. Still a very good player at 37, but he is going to retire. Right, we'll catch up in a bit, guys. I'm going to press on ahead, wait for the team to get back. We are scouting some players. If I do find some players coming through, we will definitely talk about them. But right now, I don't have any funds really to buy any players. 1.5 million is all the board has given me. So we do need to sell, and we need to sell as quickly as possible. Guys, we are back. This is the 20th of June. We have managed to sell Matoshi for 110,000. That deal will go through at the end of the month. We also did sell a few other players in terms of Arslan. He's gone to Lucerne. Gutbub has moved off to Schaffhausen for 190. Sarek, whose contract was expiring, is left for free. Kessler goes off to Will for 12.5 thousand. Ateba, whose contract was expiring, is left. Campbell also going to Will for 41,000. And Pejatsiti, also contract expiring, goes off for free. So we have managed to trim some of the fat. It has given us about 2.2 million, probably about just under a bit of a million that we wanted. I kind of want about 3 or 4 million just to have some fun. In terms of players that I have scouted and have looked at, these are the ones that are willing to come. And so far, one guy on this list is looking like he could be our new number one goalkeeper in Liam Sellen. If we just compare him to Estudante, he looks like he could be a better goalkeeper than Estudante. Definitely has the better goalkeeping stuff as well as mentals and physicals. He seems like to be just an overall better player. My biggest concern with Silin is that he doesn't like big matches and he's injury prone, which is a huge little problem for me. So I'm going to keep looking out for goalkeepers. If we don't find anyone by the time he becomes a free agent, then I will be looking at probably snatching him up for free. Another guy that I have had a nice long look at as a potential backup, Regista, also becoming a free agent at the end of the season. He looks like he could be probably better than Grando in that Regista role. So if we just pop in Grando here, you can look at that. You look at the bar so far. He is just better than Leon Grando, which is a little bit sad because, I mean, his best playing position would be a deep-lying playmaker, but someone with these type of attacking attributes, I don't know if we can, have him as the DM and then have Grando be the Regista or vice versa. He could easily be a DM and with the stats that he has as well. So he is definitely someone we are going to try and snatch up. Depending on how much he wants, he could actually be come on. 8.5 is a lot. Will you take 6? If I just pump this up a little bit. Will you take 6? Take off the signing fee. For 3 years? Desperately wants that amount, eh? Maybe I can go 7. We can go 7. Please take 7. 7.75. How about 7.5? 7.25. We'll take 7.25. That is a lot of money, but he is very, very good. To put in perspective for you guys, our contract, our biggest earner at the club is 3,600. And that's Saris. And I'm willing to give this guy 7. I feel like a lot of these values are going to go up throughout the season. I feel like we have enough little budget now to try and get the 5, 6, 7,000 a week players. And the thing is, if we start signing players like this, the likes of Justin Roth and Kukuri, then could actually be on their way out as well, which could generate a little bit more money for the club and help the transfers out a little bit. You can see there's a sea of wanted players everywhere around on the team. A couple of guys that are listed are wanted, which is good. I'm going to wait for the July for these loanees to come back, and then I'm going to try and offer these guys all out again to try and generate some funds, because there's about almost £2 million sitting in here of unused talent, which we desperately want to get a hold of. Guys, I think I might have found a new left back. Asheko Tiwani. He looks like he could be very, very good. And compare him to Ben Elmer, I mean, other than his aerial ability and his vision, can't really see well. He looks like he's good. He's very quick as well. His pace is 15, acceleration 15, natural 15. This man can just keep running and running and running. Crossing of 12, not as good as Ben, but I like him. There is going to be some competition from Czechia for this man, but I do kind of like this guy. I think he'll be very, very good, and I think he could be a big upgrade on the left-hand side. He only wants 7, which, I mean, isn't part of our budget. I'm going to go 6. I know there's a bit of competition involved. We're going to try and bribe the agent a little bit with some big money. Are they going to, would they take that? You take that. Is that enough to persuade him to come to Switzerland instead of Czechia? That is the big question. Renier has learned the language. Well done to him. But yeah, we did complete the signing of the other guy that is in the midfield, in Theo Marshall. He is coming to the squad on 7.25 thousand. He looks like he's very, very good. Coming from Southampton, he was on loan in France last season before. Preston in League One, 4 goals, 2 assists, 1 man of the match. I think he is going to be very good. And if you can bet Asheko Tiwani as well on the left-hand side, I don't know if he'll get a work permit, but I think he's a very good left back, and I think the two of them means that we are stepping closer to that sort of position we want. Ramdan here looks like he could potentially be very good. We'll scout him a little bit more. Miles Lieben, not the type of player that I'm looking for. Paulo Ponte, I mean, also not really the type of striker that I'm looking for. Yeah, I am scouting a little bit of strikers just in case we find someone that's really, really good. And I have actually found one that really does stand out in my books and one that I desperately want. Only problem is he just signed for PSG in Rudenko Iraq. Yeah, we made an offer and then PSG came in along and bought him. This was last season and that was just absolutely gut-wrenching. And he's barely playing at PSG and he is so good. Another guy that I have had a look at and he is currently out for 3 to 5 months. Someone we're going to keep an eye out on. Joseu here looks like he is very, very, very good for Brazilian. At 27 years old, he's consistent, loves big matches, brilliant at crossing, slight injury prone, but I mean, he is now out for 3 to 5 months, so options of him buying him are not looking good. And then in terms of players that want to come to us, one guy that I have sort of looked at as a sort of backup option to Pacencia is Kang Song Yoon from South Korea. If you just compare him to Pacencia, you can see that he is a slight upgrade on the South African Portuguese player. He is wanted, though, by Maritimo, who are playing in the Portuguese leagues. So he is a potential option. Another one for a register role that I did have a look at was Bislimi, the 18-year-old Albanian Swiss. Looks like he is very good. He's got a whole list of pros here, except for his headering, which isn't great. And he's only valued at 650,000 release clause. So that is an option for maybe long-term. Another left winger, they called him. I think he's more of a right winger, is Danielson Barosh. He looks like he could be very, very good. And the fact that we're looking a little bit weak on that side, he could actually potentially come in and compete with Jolet on that left-hand side. A similar type of player, slightly better than Jolet. Only issue is they want 3.5 million for him, so he is not currently an option, as we only have 2.1 in the bank. And in terms of wage budget, the two that we're going, we are now going to be overspending a lot in the committed spending once that season ticks over right here in July tick over. We need to cut that wage budget a lot in order to get there. And just like that, Lucerne have made an offer for the guy that I wanted. Non-negotiable, 875,000. Can we make an offer? 1.3 is his release clause now. Did he sign a new contract that had a release clause? We tried last season. They wanted 2 odd million. What if I do this, right? We'll give you 875 up front, and then in installments over the next 6 months, we'll make it to 1.3. They'll take it. All right, well, let's see. I'm throwing a little bit caution to the wind. He has a South African goalkeeper. Scout him a little bit more. Dijan Ashene. Okay. He doesn't look that great, this guy. All right, guys, we'll come back with some more news once we have those news. We'll see what happens with Barosh. He's okay, but never mind. I just click continue. He's interested. He only wants 1.3 to 1.8 wages. Oh, this could be a coup signing for us. This could be absolutely fantastic for him. You're not going to get that. You know what? I'll give you that bonus. That's fine. And the Schweizer Cup bonus. That's fine. And then 1.4. You know what? I'll even go up to 1.8. I'll go to 1.8 for you, son. Oh, if we can get him, that would be a brilliant signing for us on the right-hand side. Him and Jolet up front on the right-hand side with Kana in there as well. That is looking like it's going to be quite the right-hand side movement going forward. We'll come back with more news in a bit. All right, guys, the season takeover has happened. We're going to have a look at our season preview. They're expecting us to come 11th. That's where they think we come. After we finished 3rd last season, they're saying our team is not good enough. The whole Dream 11 is literally filled with young boys, except for Jamie from Luzerne and Barry from Basel. That is it. We've got Renan up front on our playlist and Arriagada. Those are our two key men going forward, but that is poor. That's where they think we're going to come 11th. He's a Croatian-Australian striker. He looks like he could be absolutely amazing of a player. Currently plays for Luzerne. They just snatched him up from the youth academy, I think he is. Oh no, they picked him up from Perth Glory in Australia. He looks like he could be a very, very good striker. Another player that I have heard a look at is a Czechian, Miroslav Filip. On that right-hand side, he looks like he could be very, very good. Only problem is he's worth 8.6 million, so we can't really afford him at the moment. And then a DM/attacking midfielder, because this guy can literally play anywhere in the midfield, is Dion Dernia Ziger. 41 million pounds for him. We can't afford him, but it is someone I'm just keeping on my radar just in case. And then I've got two 17-year-olds that I want to chat about. First one is a left back in Sahiti. He looks like he could be very, very good. A Kosovo Swiss guy. Doesn't want to come to me. I have tried making an offer for him. He doesn't want to come. He thinks it's not good for his development. And then Martim Huja, DM. I mean, this guy can be a regista. He can be a DM. He can be anything. At 17 years old, he would slot straight into my first team. Fortunately, 29 million. I want to try and loan him, and they don't want to give him me on loan. They want him to play with more quality players. So that really does sting just a tad. We are still going to find that goalkeeper. I'm still keeping an eye on Liam Sellen. I feel like he is probably the best choice at the moment. You can see we have been just doing some scouting in terms of goalkeeping. You can see the guys that we have had a look at. There's a few guys that have come up and looked okay. The likes of Hottinger looks like he could be a good goalkeeper. I think Estudiante is just a little bit better than him. Also, the likes of Marco Antonio, the Brazilian goalkeeper. He looks like he could be very, very good at 194 centimeters, a little bit taller than a bit shorter than the other one. But he looks like he could be a backup option if you compare him to Selena. Is better than Estudiante, but I think Selena is just a little bit better. If we can just compare the two. Where am I going? To Mark Antonio, you can see Selena is probably just a tad better than Antonio over here. The other guy that I did have a good little look at and was considering as a potential goalkeeper was the Cameroonian in Bruno Mumdep. But again, I think Selena is just a tad better than the Cameroonian. The physicals and the aerials are a lot better, but everything else, I don't know how much of a factor these are going to play in handling and kicking and one-on-ones. And they're not that much better than Sillens, so I don't know if that is someone. Another one we looked at is Amaro at 23, potentially one for the future. But again, I think Celine is probably the best choice when it comes to goalkeeping at the moment. Yeah, there is an argument to say that he could be better, this kid, but do we take the risk of getting a 23-year-old goalkeeper, or do we go someone a bit more experienced? Because, I mean, Estudante is 24, and he's, you know, to compare the two, Zhao and to him, you can see that Zhao is probably the better of the two goalkeepers, although mentally not so much. So I don't know, guys. I'm going to keep just smashing continue for a bit. Maybe another goalkeeper pops up on my radar and have a look at it. But one thing we do need to sign before the end of the season is a goalkeeper. And so far, Selen is sitting in pole position. Well, we've got some great news. We've got a new left back, South African Asheko Tiwani. We'll get him a little face probably by the next episode. But we've got a brand new left back in Tiwani. We're still waiting for Barros. It's only been a day since I last spoke to you guys in game, but I had to come back for that because that is exciting, exciting news. We've got about 18 to 20 players that I need to sell before we can start throwing some money out at random players. We don't have a lot of time before the league starts. We have less than a month before the league starts with a match against Luzerne on the 19th of July. We have, we've got 3 weeks, guys. In fact, we've got 2 weeks, let's say 3 weeks to when the season starts. It's going to be a fast one. We're coming back for that Luzerne game in the second episode. And of course, we've been drawn our Europa Conference League Rook matches. So might do 3 matches tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But we've got to sign a goalkeeper before we get to there. We've got some more transfer news, ladies and gents. Danielson Barros has officially signed for the club. Houghton has developed very, very well as an attacking midfielder. I still think he's going to go on loan again next season. I just need to obviously find a backup replacement for him, because at the moment, all these guys at the bottom here are out of the squad, except for Barros. Once he comes, he'll move in. That does then allow the likes of Canas to go out on loan as well, so we can actually just offer him out on loan to have 1 more season out on loan. Make it unspecified for now, and let's see what they offer us. But Jolet and Barros is going to be very, very cool on that right-hand side, with Renan and Andring on that left-hand side. Oh, this is looking good. This isn't the team that I've decided. This is just for the ones that I had for the friendly. We are still trying to get rid of some of these players. Francisco and Thor are going to go out on loan. Everybody else is available on the transfer market. Any news happens, you know where we'll be. Oh, and we lost the signing of goalkeeper Selen. He decided to sign a new contract and join Bromby instead. So that doesn't help us. So we can actually remove him from the transfer list. There is a few other guys coming through for the scouting goalkeepers. It's only been 2 days or so. We'll keep smashing, continuing. We'll find that goalkeeper. We will find that goalkeeper. Right, guys, with time running out and funds running out, we don't have a scouting fund anymore. Our scouting is depleted, so whatever we've scouted, we have scouted. In terms of goalkeepers, I've basically come up to the idea that we are not going to sign a goalkeeper. We can, however, get a centre-back, and we have found one in Hugo here, who looks like he could be very, very good. Not naturally a left-footed, but can play left-footed defender, and is a little bit better than Saris, except in the air. That's the only sort of downside to him, is the aerial ability. But on paper, he looks like a much, much better defender. Technicals not as great, but his mentals and his physicals are definitely a lot better than the 28-year-old Sadi. So I am going to try, and I say that very, very tentatively, to get him in, the 19-year-old Frenchman. I was hoping that they wouldn't trigger that. Thought we could maybe get him cheaper than 3 million. He has a release clause of 3 million. Not going to be an option then. He's not going to be the option. The other one that I saw was Parada, who's also not very good on his left foot. But I don't really want to kind of go in for him. There's a few other guys that we just haven't scouted fully, and I just don't know where we stand with these guys. Bruno here, though, doesn't look too bad. His technicals aren't the best, but his technique and his bravery is quite good that I like. His jumping reach is good, and his headering is good. Could he be the Saris replacement? Attacking and defending, he's better. How much do they want for Bruno? I'm willing to take the little punt on him. I'm willing to take the punt on him. If anything, he'll just be then a backup to Sadis if he doesn't develop as well as we hoped he will. But how much do they want? 2 million. Come on! I like Halton. I just don't think Halton is ever going to light the world on fire. I think he's a decent backup player. For the time when we signed him back in the lower leagues, I think he was very, very good. But if I can get 4.3 million for him, or close to it, I'll take it. I think that is very over amount. But I mean, if he's the man that we're going to sell to make way for our centre back, then by all means, brother, I'm in. Metzo going out on loan. Tekani leaving the club for Schaffhausen. Tekani, he was good, but I don't think he'd ever develop into anything great. So That's some money in our kitty, £10,000 in there. Still another, 0.3 million to go. There's another loanee out. So we're just getting some of the guys out there off the wage budget as well, just to help with the finances a bit. He's happy. He's happy. They're all out on loan. We've got a week left to go before the season starts. I'll chat to you guys again after that Bolton game. Well, guys, that's all the time we have for the transfer special. We won the Friendly Cup. We beat Victoria Pleasant 4-0 in the final. We beat Bolton 2-1. Whether we sign this guy or not, Mashlangu or Berno, I'll leave it up to the next episode. Keep you guys in anticipation whether we will sign them or not. It's not looking good. We've managed to raise 1.3. We're still 700,000 short to sign Berno. Ideally, I'd prefer Berno over Mashlangu. In a perfect world, I'll take both. But let's see how it goes, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, there you have it, guys. Financial ruins. Everything is just going to a big ball of just annoyance when it comes to this transfer. So much money these guys want. And I thought I'd just make a mention here. I haven't mentioned it in the other videos, but I've switched it back to pounds. I think I might have mentioned it in one of the videos. It's just so much easier playing Football Manager for so long as pounds to just sort of justify the wages and all that stuff. When it comes to rands and people are earning 1.3 million a week and it turns out to be like £30,000 a week, it's just so difficult to just keep an idea of what everything has happened. So that's the only reason why I have switched to pounds. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit like and, of course, subscribe and tell everybody you know about the Vuvuzela Victory Challenge. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for more FM Manager action. Let's go, baby. Your boy, the Vaslap, is out of here. Peace and chicken grease.
Thank you.